Welcome to the Hot Rod Hangout Podcast.
Whoop, whoop.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Ashley.
And tonight we got another one of the High Class Trash Invitational build-off. What's going on, Mr. Nick Wall?
Not too much, so enjoying a nice evening talking to you about some hot rods and rat rods with my beautiful wife, Jessica.
Hell yeah. So, I didn't ask you before. Where are y'all actually located?
So we are located in Orleans, Nebraska.
Hey, that's cold up there, man. Y'all are cold.
Yep. So we're
not. It's hot. It's still hot. If it's still hot down here.
I was in a t-shirt working outside today. So in December.
You know, so a lot of y'all from the build off are from up yonder. And a lot of y'all, I mean, there really is. And I was talking to somebody and they're like, yeah, but it's different. And I'm like, it's not. But I guess it is. And he made me think back because my wife's originally from Pennsylvania. And I went up there during the winter and I got off the plane and threw a hoodie on and I was still in shorts and flip-flops and was fine. Like, it was a different cold. So I'll give y'all that. But, like,
yeah.
I can't even imagine, like, the snow and stuff. We got listeners that send me pictures and I'm like, nah, we ain't doing that white stuff, man.
The snow is one thing, but the negative 20s, negative 30s, that is some nonsense cold. And I grew up in a ski resort town, so I'm used to the snow. Yeah. But I tell you, the cold here is cold.
It really,
cold.
And it's funny because, like, people ask, like, oh, what do y'all do in the summer when it's so hot? Like, we stay inside. We turn the AC on. Like, we don't play in it either. Like, but what originally got you into the car obsession?
I kind of grew up in the automotive industry. My dad raced professional Supercross in the 70s and 80s. We always grew up with motorcycles, mini bikes, go-karts, and it developed from there. My first car, I put an engine in it myself in my mom's gravel driveway. And, it's been a passion, a hobby, and, my career since then. So from busting tires and sweeping shop floor before I could even have a permit or license to being an ASE Master Certified Technician, I've been through the ranks of it all. So I'm not really well known in the rat rod community. My past is more of repair, day-to-day repair stuff, and more of race car stuff. Drag racing has been a big passion. We've done it for a long time, and we've built some pretty cool stuff over the years. We've done full course restorations to building caged round cars, turbo Civics. We've dabbled a little bit in everything.
Okay. Well, all true car guys have the car that got away. Whether it was you had a chance to buy something and you just couldn't put the deal together, or you sold a car and as it was leaving the driveway, you were like, man, I shouldn't have done that.
Everybody's got one.
So what is it, bud?
So I was 15 at the time. Was just started driver's ed, like 12 weeks into it. I had acquired through my brother a 71 Camaro RS, had a 400 in it, turbo 400 trans. It was a Bondo bathtub. I mean, this thing was quarter panels, had 3 inches of Bondo in it. I had blown all the Bondo out of it and got the thing running with one seat in it. I drove it once and I came home from school and my mom had sold it. And the split bumper Camaros, I've always had a soft place for them ever since then. So I'd say that is absolutely the one that has gotten away.
Yeah, that'd been hard.
Yeah. As a parent now, it would have either cost me a lot of trouble or been hurt or something stupid with it. So I get it.
Yeah. And the thing with, being a parent, sometimes you got to make the unpopular decision.
Yep, you're not always their best friend.
Yeah, well, you can't be, or they turn
Nope.
into little shitheads.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
So currently, what's the favorite car in the fleet?
The favorite car in the fleet? Well, the favorite car in the fleet right now is probably the race car, the Rustang, my big cubic inch nitrous Fox body.
Okay.
So that's kind of where she got involved in the automotive industry. She had never been to a race, never been to a car show, nothing till we started dating. So the proper thing to do was to take her out to the 303 cash days in Northern Colorado. So that was her first experience in the car culture.
Who's the drag races at Lyman Days?
Yeah, we've done some legal racing stuff.
Oh, it's all of it's legal. It's all in Mexico. I mean,
Oh yeah.
Colorado, Mexico.
Yep. And now I don't think you would ever let me sell the car.
No.
Nope. So
That one stays.
Yep.
Me and Ashley met during COVID. Similar. She wasn't into cars either, and that was kind of what kept me sane. So it was like, hey, I'm going out to the shop, and she's like, okay, we'll have a good time. And I'm like, you can come with me and hang out if you want. And she was like, really? And I was like, yeah. She was never allowed. Her dad wouldn't let her. Her dad always told her like, oh, you can't, girls don't belong in the garage. And I was kind of like, well, your hands are smaller and they fit more places. And, it worked.
You're going to learn today.
Yeah. And she's got the passion for it. Not as deep as me, but she's full, like we were talking about, she's fully supportive of understanding that, late nights to get something cool. There's going to be times where I'm not the happiest camper at the car. Just let me be for a little while and it'll be all right.
Something, babe.
Yeah, it is what it is. So
Yeah.
So for the high class, y'all are in the outlaw class. So do you want to give the listeners a little bit of insight? What you building? Any plans that you want to give out? Or
I'm a guy that is a gearhead through and through. So every aspect of what we're building is built by me or us. From motor, drivetrain, everything. So the motor is actually already done. I'm probably a couple hours of wrench time from firing it off. So I can tell you, it's roughly 600 horse naturally aspirated on motor. It is all-wheel drive. It is four-wheel independent suspension. So, okay. And it seats 6.
All right.
Or sorry, 7. You're right.
That's seat at least 7 people.
I have the interior side is slightly configured but it's not built, done, or anything of that nature. So okay. We've got some room there. We chose to do something unique and completely different. If everything works the way we're thinking, as far as the financial side of things, it's either going to be a paddle shift or a centrifugal dog box.
Okay.
So that's kind of the direction as far as that goes. So I will tell you, it is a Chevy body, Chevy frame, and running majority of a modern Ford suspension.
Okay.
With some alterations.
Okay.
So it's
interesting.
It's something I've had building up in my mind for a while, and it's something I've kind of put together as far as what would work and what won't. And so it's kind of a good excuse with the build off to put it all into motion.
Yeah, sometimes you need a little kick to kind of getting gear.
And it's hard to justify spending money when you don't, at the end of the day, it's for fun.
Trust me, I get it.
Yep.
Cadillac parts are expensive. I went from a Model A to a Cadillac. Okay, trust me, I know parts.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So
Model A, it's like a piece of plywood will get you done. Cadillac, you're like, oh, that bolt is $6.
Yep, because it's a Cadillac.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Not only is it a Cadillac, it's a vintage Cadillac.
Yeah. And I picked in 61 and 62, which you said you'd redone one completely. 61 and 62 is the bastard child. Like Vintage Air doesn't make a kit for it. The Dakota Digital doesn't make gauges for it. And I'm like, they make them for everything around it, just not those 2 years. And I'm like, but I am looking, I'll put it out on the podcast, and I'll put it out until I find one. I am looking for a 61 front bumper, but because I like the round lights better than the square lights. But
well, I can get you in contact with somebody who's probably got one.
Right.
So, yeah.
It doesn't even need to be like real shiny because I'm painting the bumpers. Chrome don't get you home.
So,
that's the one little quirk of that car is it doesn't have to. I mean, it is shiny, but I got to put a little bit of ratty stank on it, or it won't be mine.
I can tell you, building stuff for people, and being to the T as in what they want. There are stages you go through a build when you see something and you're just like, maybe I shouldn't be building this for them, or maybe I should do one of these for me. So.
Well, that's why I said I all of my cars are for sale. When we bought the 54, it got to the house, and the first place I went was to go make a sticker that said for sale or trade to go across the back window. And everything in my yard is for sale, including our dailies. I've said that if I'm ever somewhere and I will bring an empty trailer home. If it's a show that's far away, I will bring an empty trailer home. Matter of fact, I'll even unhook from the trailer if you want it bad enough.
That's the way it is. So, I mean,
shit, if you really want it bad enough, I'll get a plane ticket home. I don't care.
Yeah. So, she's seen a little bit of it, but, Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, they're dangerous places.
They
I'm
are.
worried about him cheating on me. I'm worried about him looking at Facebook Marketplace.
It is, but, and it's crazy because, with traveling, you punch in Facebook where you're at. And like talking to some of y'all and like, oh, I picked this car up for this much. And I'm like, not down here, you wouldn't. Or, and stuff is, because I used to, it was back probably 3 or 4 years ago. My buddy lived in Texas and he'd come back to Florida and visit every once in a while. And every time he'd come back, I'd be like, man, I should just give you a bankroll and just send me all the C10s you can find. Because they were cheap as shit out there. And you could sell a rusty one here for like 10 grand. And it's like, this don't make no sense.
You're in a whole different territory.
He bought a running and driving Model A Roadster for scrap. A dude pulled up at a shop and was like, hey man, do you want this car? And he was like, what do you want for it? He's like, I'm going to take it to scrapyard. Give me $50 over scrap. He's like, okay. Gave him, I think it was like $350 or something he gave him. And the dude's like, okay, well, I'll unload it. He climbs in the car, hits the button, and it fires up. He drove it off the trailer. I said, do what? I said,
$350?
Yeah, because he didn't know. He's like, oh, I don't want to deal with it. It was, the dude had bought like an estate auction, so he just bought everything.
Oh, wow.
And he had made his money, and he was like, I don't feel like messing with it because I can't answer questions. I don't know nothing about it. Everybody wants to ask, like, oh, is it this? Is it that? He's like, I don't know. He's like, I'm tired of dealing with it. I'm tired of I'll be there to come get it, and nobody ever showing up. He's like, I'm tired of it. I was like, well, you should have called me because I'd have been on my way.
Right place at the right time. So.
Well, and with being a shop owner, like, stuff finds you. Like it
seeks you out.
I know your wife in the background. She don't completely believe that some of that stuff finds you, but it really does.
I've seen it, honestly. I do. It falls into your lap, and you're just like, okay, right place, right time,
Well,
right dollar figure, and there it is.
They know you become known as the person that does this. So it's like people call you and be like, hey, do you know anybody that has this? Or do you know anybody that's wanting one of these? Well, not really. Oh, I got one for this. Well, maybe I'm interested in it. Yes. For that.
It is. Yep. So that's how you end up with, 12, 13 cars. Well, I don't remember how many we have at the moment. 12 or 13 of them on the property at the moment.
I'm out of yard. That's my problem. I'm out of yard. I quickly ran out of yard.
Benefit. So we had a deal that came together. We bought 4 acres out here in Orleans, Nebraska. And now I've acquired, 4 vehicles since then.
4.
A couple. So. Yeah,
well, we had sold because the market went retarded everywhere, but really, really retarded here. And so we sold, capitalized on the market, planned to buy a piece of land, build a barnuminium, shop house, whatever you want to call it. And we bought land, and the county that we were trying to build in, absolutely like nothing that we suggested they would allow. You can't live in a metal building. You can't do this. Your garage can't be bigger than your house. Or it has to be separate. And I'm like, I don't want a 4,000 square foot house, but I do want a 4,000 square foot garage. And just bunch of, and then we got the tax bill on vacant land. And I was like, this is more money than I paid on a house. Like, this is ridiculous. So then we sold and ended up, Florida has a Save Your Homes. So you could kind of bank your deferred value. So you got to be in a house in 3 years, yada, yada, yada. So we ended up getting a house, and it was supposed to be temporary. And it was so we got less land, less house, less garage, and 3 times the mortgage payment. I'm like, that's the complete opposite of what we were trying to do. So now we're trying to figure out the best way. But I've randomly bought a C10 on accident.
We had a washing machine that took crap, and so I found one on Marketplace. With 5 kids, you can't have.
You got
washer and dryer.
Yeah.
Yep. I grab the trailer after work, go out to get this washer and dryer set that turned out to not be as advertised, and ended up coming back with a Pontiac Grand Am or Grand Prix.
It was Grand Prix, man.
So.
Well, we drove. So I was building a 32 truck at the time, and a guy down 5 hours south of us had what he told me was a 32 already done 512 chassis. And I'm like, all right, well, I'll just go down and pick this up, save me some time. It's way cheaper than I could even build it for. Looking at the pictures, it's all shiny. It's nice. Everything's good. The welds look good. There's chrome front end. I'm like, this is great. Get down there. He's like, there it is. And I'm like, that's not the frame in the pictures. And he's like, yeah, it is. And I'm like, no, that one's rustier than the one I got at the house. And it's a car chassis. It's not a truck chassis. And he's like, oh, same thing. And I'm like, no, it's really not. So I was like, well, since I drove all the way down here, what else you got? Because you don't know. And especially, you collect parts off of builds and, stuff that either doesn't work or doesn't work for the application or the mission or whatever. I got a short water pump from the small block for the Model A that's what it was going with. And then all of a sudden I was like, well, I need a long water pump for that. So now it's like you collect parts. So when somebody comes, I'm like, hey, do you need this? Because I also got that. I got this. I got that, try to get rid of it. But
the old school guys, that's all flea market stuff, which aren't too popular anymore with, technology and marketplace and Craigslist and stuff. But yeah, I've got a 2-car garage attached to the house that is half full of parts and collective stuff. And
you might need it. Parts. You might need it one day, just I hate getting rid of good parts, because about the time you sell it, about 2 weeks later, you're like, that would look really good with this.
That's it.
That's why I'm holding on to a tunnel ram. I ain't got nothing in my yard that could fit a tunnel ram, because she won't let me cut the hood on her 54. But it's like,
well, that's if it looks good with the hood open and it looks like it should, or you want it to.
well, it's still
no problem.
It still has a 235 in it, but it's getting the small block that I had built for my Model A, so it's gonna look good. She's just, and I can't blame her, because I'm not a big one for cutting a hole in the hood. Like, you put a nice motor in it, run around without the hood for a little while, but the cutting holes in hoods, I'd rather, unless it's a blower. Blowers are always excusable. Cut the hole, yes. But
it depends on what the overall goal is with the car,
right. Yeah, and it has to fit the mission. And that car, it's just it's just gonna be a hood rat. It's been remarkably. I've done absolutely nothing to it, and it has always broken our driveway. Every problem I've ever had, it's been in the driveway. Like, it'll make it home. So, and then this time, it made it home, and now it is done. So it's like, but I got to get the Cadillac where it can run and drive, so I can get it out of the way, so I can get the motor out of the shop. It's, because we got a 2-car carport with a little section that's closed in. So, like, all the good parts are in the closed-in section, and the Cadillac's too long for the carport. So it's like halfway in and halfway out. So
that's the one thing about doing the body work and doing the paint and stuff on that 62 is it was freaking massive. Thing's a land yacht, and the body lines and stuff that it just took so much blocking, so much time. Of course, the guy we built it for fully understood that was the second car had built for him, and he had no problem flipping the bill and taking care of it for knowing what he was getting at the end of it. So
it's hard with because you're 10 Soldiers just went away from building cars. You're seeing a lot of the custom car guys getting out of it because it's hard to justify that payment.
It is, and I have pushed away from building for people, for the fact of it's so time consuming, so tedious, and you're doing everything to the T by what they want. That it'll drive you crazy.
Well, and that too, but you got to get paid for your time, or if you have employees, you got to pay for their time. Yeah. But the car doesn't make much of a jump in a week, but your guy put 20 hours on it at $100 an hour. You got to look at the guy and go, hey, it's $2,000. And he goes, well, it looks the exact same as it did when I seen it last week. Well, yeah, but he spent 20 hours on it. I promise.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So,
and shit takes time. Like that's a big one, like people, even in y'all's, I was talking to somebody and they're like, oh, there's no way that there's that much, their budget. And I questioned some of the budget on some of the guys, because I'm like, my marketplace wouldn't allow me to buy that body for what you say you paid for it. Okay. But you also got to figure in there's no pay for your time.
Right.
And majority of your build budget is your time and hardware.
Oh yeah, yeah. So the budget doesn't include the sweat equity,
right?
So
yeah, and it's
strictly parts.
Yeah, and that's how, because guys, oh, you can't build that car for that. Well, you're right. You can't pay somebody to build that car for that, but I can build it for that because I did it. It's you're not accounting for your time, but some of the builds that I've heard about, I'm excited to, and we're going to try to make it to Mississippi to catch y'all at the end, because I'm excited to see like, there's some crazy stuff. You got guys with Jaguar, was it Mr. Lyons doing the Jaguar? Like, that's crazy.
There's some pretty unique stuff that's getting thrown around. And I mean, I find it inspirational from guys, from growing up and doing the stuff we've put in the Good Guys Car Show top 5, stuff that we have, in other countries that we've done restorations on, it's a totally different mindset, totally different aspect, seeing what the creative mind can do, and that's where a lot of the idea stuff comes from. And that's where you find yourself more driven, you get more inspiration seeing other people's ideas, fabrication, than you do sitting factory restoration stuff or seeing, stuff put back together the way it was. So,
well, and also everyone's background kind of drives it too, because, your background of putting them back original is attention to detail, because those shows, it matters if that isn't perfectly correct. And drag racing and circle track, you can see the influence of what the people are going through. I had a guy send me a rendering, and I don't know if he's going to let me talk about it, so I hope he does. But he sent me a rendering, and I'm like, okay, and he's in your class because it needs to be. But budget wise, it's going to be it's Outlaw. There ain't no he can't even lie to me and say, but if it looks like the rendering, that's going to be a badass ride. But you can see the influence of what he's done previously. He's a big drag race guy, so so it's not the guy that I had on already that was a drag racer. It's not him, but there's another guy. And, you can see that inspiration, or your type fellas, which are going to have the attention to detail, or those small details that not a lot of people notice.
And, like mixing some of the modern technology with the rat rod stuff, the old stuff, and that's, nobody's ever going to think of this body in this configuration and having either paddle shifts or a sequential, setup in it. It's going to be kind of different. And, the best way I can describe it is I have some AI and rendering and stuff, but kind of mix a full-size K5 Blazer and a full-blown Subaru rally car. That's kind of the two mixtures.
Okay.
So, but 4-wheel independent suspension. I've drawn up some plans of 4-wheel steering. Not sure how that's going to play a role with the horsepower we're running, but just to be kind of off the wall and different. So,
if you're using Ford stuff, I have an idea, but we'll talk about
We'll talk.
So we'll go with the fact of some Ford modern control arms, just for the fact they're already aluminum, lightweight. That's where
and
helps
they make
out.
good power.
So as far as the configuration of the suspension itself, it's going to throw some people for a loop. It's for something I've seen done a couple of times, but it ain't very big or ain't very popular. So it's going to be kind of interesting.
That's very cool. Like I said, I'm excited to see, and the closer it gets, I'm gonna check back in with some of y'all, and I'm hoping that the plans that I'm hearing now are still in place and people haven't strayed, because there's a couple of the guys in the newbie and the blue collar class. They take into a big bite, and I'm like, oh man, if you can get that done, it's gonna be cool. But
so we've done some prior build off stuff, with magazine and stuff. And so we shot ourselves in the foot right off the bat. I was behind on the clock dealing with family court stuff and all that. So we had a truck 48 International put together, ready. Ended up with it was originally built with a manual. The night before we're supposed to leave, we lost second gear. I had tranny problem. We ended up at 5 o'clock at night ripping the transmission out of the race car, converting the truck over to an automatic during the build-up, I took a 4-inch cutoff wheel to the face. So at 9 o'clock at night. And so
I was out getting transmission fluid and I called him to ask which one I needed to pick up. And he says, we have a slight problem. I was like, okay. And then the picture that our 16-year-old daughter had sent through comes in and it's just his entire chin split open. And that was his idea of a slight problem.
Well, it's slight. I mean, we still had a car to build, so.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
we got the truck done. We are on the road on time. So granted, that was at 5 o'clock in the evening, and I came in the house for breakfast at 6 a.m. with a truck running and driving. Where I shot myself in the foot was not the research and development time I should have put into it. And so we had some issues, but the one thing about the build-off that I'm really a big fan of is the fact I think everybody who has the invite is somebody who is going to show up with something run and driving come hell or high water.
And that was the one thing when he brought it up, when I was originally talking to him and he said that it was going to be a year and a half or a little over a year. I was like, that makes way more sense because the quick build-offs will push you, but I would rather you get the car done and have a couple months or a month. Go drive it. Make sure that the first time you let the clutch pedal out, it's not going to take off your big toe. Because we've all, especially in a rush, did I tighten that? It'll be all right. We've all done it. And
it's not a good plan when you're hauling ass to get something done, especially if you're putting family, friends, kids in the car, anything of that nature. That's one thing I think this build off holds true to is the safety aspects.
Yeah.
And I don't think the budget that they increased for the safety side was really awesome for them. I think they did really well making that call.
Yeah.
So you have, I think it's $1,000 or whatever it is for your safety equipment that doesn't go against your budget.
Right.
So, and I think that's going to help a lot of the guys that are unexperienced or haven't done the build off stuff. So
the newbie class.
Yeah.
Well, and we just had a newbie on, and it's a legit first, like it's a legit first bite at trying to do something from the ground up, and it's not a complete build. It was like but it's going to take some work to get it done. It is a build. But the reason he's building it is awesome. And he's got enough of a bite where he's going to learn, he's going to push himself. And that's more what it's about, is you're kind of competing. Like, you want to win, but like first victory is the car gets done. The way you envision it now. If the car looks somewhat similar to that at the end, you did a good job. You won. The second one is getting it there. If you make it to Mississippi, you won. And then we can talk about if somebody else likes it.
Yeah, exactly. And once you have something that you have done from nothing, and you drive it and you're behind the wheel and it's doing everything it's supposed to do. So beyond that, nothing really fucking matters.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, and it's awesome to see, because I know that with the rat stock build off, this build off is going to be the same way, and the stuff that we do, it's a competition, but you want your fellow competitor to get there too. It's not like I'm sorry you didn't get your stuff done. So sad. If you get your stuff done and there's another guy 10 minutes away from you, hey man, you need something? Let me come over and help you, push it across the line. There's so much in that, and I don't mean it this way, but in the rat rod side of the car world, there's so much of everyone can win. It's not a, oh, my car's better than yours. You know, yeah, there's smack talk, like we were talking about before. Like, and on that same token, we were on live and we were going at it, and I had phone calls like, are y'all not friends anymore? And we were talking on the phone to each other as we were getting messages like, are y'all like not getting along? And me and him are laughing because he has a podcast. I have a podcast. We talk shit online for a living, or somewhat of a living, you know, so I'm not scared to go after him. It's all jokes. I want him to succeed. I want you to build the best thing you can build, but I also want to see you build it. And
so that was a big turning point on taking that invite and going into the Outlaw Class. Was that we've done so much in so many different directions in the automotive world that we haven't really truly expressed myself or ourselves in a single build or pushed our own ability.
Right.
And that's where I praise Jeremiah big time. He is one of the most inspirational people I know. And, for him to say the invite's there, if you want in the Outlaw Class, it's yours. And I'm like, I can't say no to that.
Well, that was a debate, deciding whether or not he wanted to go that route. And I kind of laid it out for him. I said, the whole reason that Jeremiah told you he wants you, to consider trying to get into the Outlaw Class is just, to push yourself and to get yourself outside of your comfort zone and to do the creative things. And as far as I was concerned, that was always what it was going to end up being, was that we would go for the Outlaw Class.
Well, and it's also a lot of times, you go after something to push yourself to do something you haven't done before, to kind of mix it up a little bit. And like you said, you've been over this and done this and done this. You kind of have to got to put your neck out there. You kind of got to see, let them hang.
Yeah. Yep, that's it. Exactly. You don't know what you're fully capable of or what you can do until you throw it out there.
Well, and you see this more on like the custom side of things. Not the cool custom with a K, but regular C custom. You get known, builders get known for what they build. And you're like, oh, okay, so-and-so's building a car. Okay, well, I wonder if it's a 67, a 68, or a 69 Camaro, because that's what he does, okay, so it's going to have an LS and 20s. And, you get known for certain things, and it's kind of cool to be able to step out and be like, no, I do that good, but let me also show you I can do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is definitely one we're swinging for the fences on.
Yeah, man, I really cannot wait to see it. And if you share images, I will not share them. But if you want to, I will take them. I will gladly accept. And that goes for everybody listening to this. If you're in the build off and you want to send me cool stuff, I will look at it. I will tell you my opinion on it. I will not share it. Just throwing that out there.
So I can tell you though that the exhaust on this thing is it is a statement in itself. Just seeing the tubes on this thing. So I think I might post a first fire video or a after we get it set up and tuned video of it running. Just basically a front clip of the motor, the front end of it. But
I think we're holding a lot really close to the vest until.
Hey, well,
a bit.
I get it.
So, yep. So,
well, is there a show or event that y'all try to make every year?
So, we made Jeremiah's show. I made it. We had a car in that show every year except one year. He turned it over to some other people that took it over. And so we've continued with it. The Rats on the Platte. This last year we had all the kids out there. We have, so we've tried to do as much of the local rat rod stuff as possible. We're also at the drag strip, Kearney Raceway. Friends of ours are the manager and run it. So, they do all sorts of stuff there. So I would say, the High Plains Riot and the Rats on the Platte show, we shoot to be there every year. So the Psycho Silo Saloon was an awesome experience with that last year. And so we are pushing to make that a annual thing. So
just got to get there.
Yeah. So
is there a show or event that y'all have never made that you'd like to make?
Yep. There's a show down south. I've seen a lot of videos, pictures of it. I think it's the Frankenstein's Ball. That just looks like a really good time. It looks like a blast. So, and it's in an area we've never been exploring. So
yeah.
It may be one we take the rat rod and go cruise around with, and maybe end up down there in 2028 or something.
Sweet.
Follow the brown signs.
So, the travel side is one thing, and the expensive side, but when you're taking 5 kids with you, so
I just want to be like Jerry and Tracy when we go up and just travel the country to all of them.
you just want to travel around all the different shows every year.
Oh yeah.
So
that's the plan.
That'd be nice.
That's the plan. We're hoping to get there eventually, but I don't know.
That's one we decided when the youngest one is 18 or in high school and self-sufficient. So we decided we're taking a year off, and we're gonna load up.
We're taking a sabbatical.
We're gonna take the rat rod truck and load up the motorcycles and go disappear and mess around for a year. So,
well, hell yeah! So this will be a 2-part. I'll ask you, and then I'll ask your wife. What is one piece of advice that you would give somebody that's trying to get into car culture, car life?
One piece of advice I would give them: don't burn yourself out. If you're trying to get into it as a career, keep your ambition, keep your drive, and work it. Don't throw everything in 110% right off the bat. As far as working 12, 16, 18-hour days, you have to pace yourself. So that's a big part of this build-off is, doing everything I did for customers and the business aspect and stuff. I lost 90% of my drive and ambition in the automotive industry. It took all the wind out of my sails, and, so then going through life events and stuff. And I spent 2 years getting my kids back full time and everything else, that now life is settled and the ambition's still there. It's just reigniting that flame of the drive.
Yeah. My dad, whenever I was coming up, my dad told me, he's like, you don't want to wrench for a living. It takes the fun out of it.
Doing it for a living. So that's the fondness, and why I find a lot of joy in the rat rod stuff is it is a totally different aspect than turning wrenches for a living day to day.
Yeah.
So.
And that was, he told me that, and then we ended up working in a shop together for a little while, and then I understood. I'm like, yeah, I don't feel like going home and wrenching on my own shit when I wrenched on shit all day. So he was right. I just didn't listen, like all good kids. Sometimes you got to learn those lessons on your own.
Yeah. So I'll talk, on your topic there. But if you want to do it and you're getting into it, don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Do it the way you want to do it. So the way you want to do it. Don't take someone else's advice or, somebody else's business model or anything like that. Do it what you see fit.
Very much. All right. So for you, what is one piece of advice that you would give the significant other of a car guy?
I think the biggest thing is just to understand that this is a time-consuming hobby. This is, and it's not even just a hobby. This is a time-consuming passion. There's going to be a lot of late nights. There's going to be a lot of, hey, babe, I bought more car parts. I think that understanding that, it's a time-consuming process, and there's a lot that goes into it, and there's going to be late nights, and there's going to be times where, you kind of make things a little tight to get the parts, here when you need them here, and, move things around that way. But I think the biggest thing is just understand that you got to have patience and just be prepared for the late nights. Going through the rat stock build off was my first build that I had gone through with him of any kind. And that was about a steep learning curve. So, but I mean, it's the end result is always worth it, but just keep in mind that the late hours and the, maybe some grumpy evenings and cussing going on out in the garage, it's going to happen. And that's just where it's at, but the end result is worth it. And being able to watch him kind of dive back into that passion and really kind of push himself on the creative side of things, it's definitely a reward worth having.
Yeah. Well, is there anybody that y'all would like to give a special shout out to?
Well, I mean, Jeremiah Gardner, I've known him for a long time through thick and thin with my own life stuff and everything. And he has been an awesome friend, and he's been one hell of a guy for, just to bounce stuff off of, whether it's car related or not, as well as my wife, so my kids, I mean, my daughter she has grown to be a fantastic young woman, and she is at a point now that I think she can probably outwrench most any other high school kid. So, she is with me on the build off stuff. She's been there every late night. She's been there through every design flaw, through every anger problem, through every failure and victory. So, to now she's pursuing something in the engineering field with it. So, it's been a lifestyle through and through. And my dad, big time. So he's my biggest critic, and he's an awesome guy. So, he'll tell me I'm an idiot. So over and over. So, but the biggest ones are my wife. She's been a major support factor through all of the automotive industry and all of our lifestyle stuff. From selling her daily driver because I can up the ante and upclass it and found something else, so, well, you don't have a car for the next 2 or 3 days, but hey, it's worth it. Hold on. So,
very cool. Yeah. And I appreciate you coming on. So before we end this episode, we'd like to hop on and give a huge shout out to the people that contribute to helping make this podcast happen. So we'd like to welcome AFAB Performance back on as an advertiser. Johnny Jalopy, you can check him out on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and JohnnyJalopy.com. And Psycho Fab, Facebook and Instagram. All right. Well, if you're looking to catch up with one of us at a show, where are we going to be at, Ashley?
Well, we are going to be at the Tampa Lowrider Show. That's going to take place at the Florida State Fairgrounds on April 18th. And then, also adding to the list, Custom Culture presented by Local Scene Cruise Nights. They're in Valdosta, Georgia, and that'll be taking place on April 25th.
All right, guys. Till next time, get out and drive your shit.
See ya.
Later.